Hello and welcome back to a very different kind of daily cribbage video. I wanted to go over some statistics over the first 100 videos that I've made. We've played quite a lot of games of cribbage, and if you're anything like me, then you really like the statistics, the numbers behind all of these games, and I've collated them. So these are all of the games. These are all of the results, the scores from the play, the crib, the hands, from all of the videos numbered 1 to 99. As you can see, in some of the videos, I didn't show the final screen or they weren't normal episodes, so I haven't been able to collect all the numbers everywhere. And some of these games are against the AI, so I've made notes of these. And yeah, so let's have a look at some overall statistics for how we did in these games. So I've also filtered out all of the human games as well, so I can have a look at all of the differences. So over all games, so in total we played 96 games, and we have an overall win rate of about 63.5%, which I'm pretty happy with. It's very hard to get much above this because of the variance, the randomness of cribbage. And in particular, if we have a look at how we did against the AI, well, we played 12 games there, we won 10 and lost 2. Of course, the AI games, some of them were against the easier AIs, so in those cases we get a lot of free points. So in other statistics that we'll look at later, it's probably important to disregard those because that's the AI giving us a lot of points for free. And in the human games, we played 86 games, we won 51, lost 33, so we got a win rate of about 60.7%, which I think is also really nice as well. Now let's have a look at how the points break down. So these are all of the averages, standard deviations and skews for the points that we've got over the course of a game. As you can see, on average, we get about 24.7 points from the play, about 70 points from our hands, and about 20.6 points from the crib. Our opponents don't get as many, which makes sense because on average we're winning more games, so we're going to get a few more points overall. It's in order to win, you have to get more points than your opponent. No big surprises there. Now, the other thing we can see is we can have a look at the standard deviation. So on the play, there's a standard deviation of about 6, so about a quarter of the mean. For the standard deviation of the hand, we get about 11, which is quite big. 11, so that's about a 7th, or about a 6th. And then in the crib, we got a standard deviation about 7.4, which is even bigger than the play. And that makes sense because the crib is much more random than the play. It's you don't get so many points on the play, but in the crib it's very easy to get a huge crib every now and again. And you can see the opponent's points have a slightly higher standard deviation, so there's about 12.5 points standard deviation for hands, but they have a lower standard deviation in the crib. I've also plotted the skews, so if you know much about statistics, then this might be interesting. You can see that the skews are actually quite different between, say, my plays, which is a slight negative skew, and opponent's points on the play is slight positive skew. So I'm not sure what's causing that. I would have expected all of the skews to be positive, but we can see that actually points in hand somehow comes out to have negative skew. Maybe the reason why this is happening is because, as I've written, there's a warning that this data is for full games and not individual rounds, which means that over the course of one game, you might play, say, 10 rounds one game, or 11 rounds, or 12 rounds another game, and or 8 or 9 rounds on a different game. So it's really hard to compare the number of points that you get on an individual round using these averages. However, one thing that these do sort of tell you ratios between the number of points that you get on the play, hand, and crib. So for every 70 points you get in hand, you might expect to get about 24 points on the play and 20 points in the crib. I've also broken up these scores so that you can see what I get against human opponents. As you can see, the averages are slightly less because the computer gives me more points, except from the crib. For some reason, my cribs against humans are better than cribs against the AI. And similarly, all of the opponent's points are a lot higher against human opponents, mostly because I was playing against some easy AI in a few of these games. And when we take out the AI games, the skew becomes slightly more positive, which is I can't explain that at all. Okay, and finally, one thing that I wanted to show is that I plotted. So for each of the games, I noted down what was the losing score. So in the kth column, you can see what is the score of the losing player in each of the games. And we can plot a histogram of that. So as you can see over the course of these games, most of the there's a sort of a big increase going from this 81 to 86 block to 86 to 91 block. And then most of the losing scores are between 86 and 120, which, okay, that's a very big range, but potentially the reason why I get concentrated here is maybe because people are trying to avoid getting skunked, so they'll try and get a few extra points in order to try and get over that 91 mark. And so you get a lot of people clustered around 91, and then once they get over 91, they're happy to sort of give up at that point if they know they're going to lose. And at the top end, we've got this bar here, 120 to 120. I think that's about 3 or 4 games where the losing player was on 120, which is the most unfortunate number to lose on. Okay, well, I hope you liked that dive into some of the statistics. I think that overall we played pretty well over these 100 games. There were definitely a lot of moments that we could improve on, and that just shows you that this win rate of about 60%, we can improve on it. And I hope that over the next 100 games we will do exactly that. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a break, but if you're looking at this video well in the future, then I should have another set of 100 Cribbage games and some analysis to go along with them coming up very soon. So if you're watching this as it comes out, then I'm going to be taking about a week break, and then I'll be back for some more daily cribbage. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.